So what do we have here, Adam?
This is my 2005 CBR 1000RR, the Repsol edition. I purchased this motorcycle last summer. I was able to put about 1,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's definitely a real joy to ride. My newest and nicest machine I ever owned. My previous bike was a 2002 CBR1000RR F4i.
Right.
Bob was able to, I was actually one of his first students, I guess you'd say, with Enjoy the Ride motorcycle tutoring. He was able to show me how to ride much smoother and efficiently. I've been riding motorcycles and dirt bikes kind of my whole adult life, and never really knew the potential for cornering on tires and how to ride it the way it was intended to, I suppose.
Yeah, and you've done really well. This year you came along real fast.
So the bike is pretty much stock. It has 19,000 miles on it. It has a Jardine exhaust. Other than that, I believe that's just about it. That's how I purchased it.
All right, very good. I guess we'll get started. Yeah, thanks. Woo! All right, just swinging a leg over it here. It's a bit different of a feel from my my TLR as expected. It feels a lot lighter too. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some of the specs of this bike last night, and it looks like it's about 40 pounds lighter than my TLR. All right, here we go. Tires feel a little bit worn in the middle. You know how you get that little bit of sluggishness where you have to give a bit more handlebar input to make the bike turn. But I think that's just because of the tires. I don't think it's any fault of the bike at all. I'll tell you, the posture overall on the bike, it seems like it's a very good kind of a crouch position. It's not overly forward. It is in a crouch, but it's kind of a little bit more neutral. It seems like with a posture like that, it would kind of make it easier to ride fast in the corners. Yeah, it's got a bit more horsepower than I'm used to. It's got about 150 to 160 horsepower, having done some reading about it. And I really like how it seems like even from down low here, there's plenty of torque to use that's pleasing for street riding. It's not overly loud. I like to kind of go for my ride and mind my own business and try not to disturb others. It seems like when you ask for power, that it's a little bit snatchy when it comes to the transitional area between coast and power. When you start asking for power, it has just a little bit of a lurch there, but I don't think overall that's going to be a big problem, even if someone's doing some aggressive sport riding or any track riding, that kind of thing. I also think that a lot of the times too, those kinds of symptoms you can tune out of the motor. Usually it has something to do with the synchronization of the throttle bodies on the bike. They all have to be pulling the same amount of air. Where that comes into play most, it'll be in conditions where you're leaned really far over and you're trying to meter power in a corner, that kind of thing. When you're apexing, you're adding power. That transition right there is real critical because you're using up most of your traction just to go, to make the turn. So you don't want to disturb the bike at all. Yeah, it seems like the brakes have a little bit more travel on the brake lever before they start to bite, but they firm right up. If you wanted to go with a 4-cylinder, again, 4 cylinders, the way they deliver power, they're the tire really doesn't have a chance to hook up between power pulses because you got more cylinders running at the same time. So if you have a single cylinder or a V-twin, there are large gaps between the power pulses that the engine delivers. So you kind of get a passive traction control. So in the four cylinders, I would say that you're probably at a little bit greater risk of slides with power, adding too much power because of the way the power is delivered. It doesn't have that. The tire doesn't have as much time to hook up between power pulses. So I would just say you just have to be a little bit more cautious and metered with your throttle. Throttle control is one of the biggest determining factors of how smooth you can ride and how well you can corner, that kind of thing. I would have to say the top one is visual skills. You generally go where you look. It really isn't that complicated, but the basics that you need to do on riding a motorcycle, they need to be done superbly. So in other words, some of the best riders are out there. There's no magic that they're doing. They're just applying the basics in a supremely good way. The bike has plenty of horsepower. I don't doubt that. The seats are quite firm, and as far as the seating position, you got a big tank here, so I feel like my legs are a little bit out wider, but it's not uncomfortable. It's just maybe a perception of my own. I don't really feel a whole lot of wind on me there. The sport bikes in general, the windscreens don't have to be that big to be effective. I do have my my suit on with my sliders and stuff like that, but I generally don't like to try to go out and drag knees a whole lot, except like that, and almost get hit. It's too much traffic to really do this. Wow, that's a lot of power. Woo! Very happy about that. You know, the other bikes around this year have a little bit more, maybe 5 or so horsepower more than this CBR1000RR. You know, the ZX10, the JSXR. But I'll tell you, given the posture and what seems like an easy feel to ride the bike, I don't think I would ever miss that power, even on the racetrack. Yeah, the only thing I could say with regards to riding this on the track, one thing I noticed is it doesn't seem like the brakes have a whole lot of initial bite to them, but that just could be, their state of wear, because it's got almost 20,000 miles on it. Hello, Mr. Officer. Just beautiful. Woo! A little touch the knee there. Having a little fun. I got brand new sliders on, so they stick way out to the side there. They're real thick. Really easy to touch in the corners. I just replaced my previous pair that they were basically, all the plastic was gone. It was down just to the leather and Velcro base. Yeah, I'm very happy. I haven't really had a chance too much to play with the power on this, but it's got quite a bit. Not the best day for a moto vlog or a first ride review, but hey, this is what we got. It's really enjoyable just to get out on this November day in New Hampshire. Oh, look at that. A fuel light's on. I would think I would have at least 20 miles or so. It should be plenty. Here's another thing too about riding in New Hampshire. None of the roads are straight. You know, some of you guys have to deal with you know, layouts that are grids and they're straight intersections and that's it. You know, in New Hampshire, a lot of these roads were animal trails back in the day, wagon trails and all that kind of stuff. The paths of least resistance. Yeah, the visibility of the mirrors, I actually like it. They're quite usable. Yeah, it's starting to get dark. We're running low on gas. It's getting cold. Let's see, what else can I complain about? So guys, thanks for watching. And remember, your life is precious. You know, you only go around this thing one time. Get on out there and enjoy the ride. See you, folks.